Today, we're going to talk about prospecting. Now, this is something that I've spoken about time and time again on the podcast, but like I say, there's always someone who is discovering the podcast today. And for those of you who are regular listeners, it never hurts to remind you time and time again about these things that are important. Oh, by the way, apologies for the noise in the background. This is a late night recording, just in case you can hear the crickets coming in from the background. And no, I'm not in the village. I just happen to be in an estate that has a lot of greenery. So at this time of the year, you can hear crickets. And when the rains come really seriously, you'll be able to hear the frogs in the background. But anyway, the frogs are not here yet. So, prospecting. Yes. Now, prospecting is a very important activity that we all should be doing as business people, as CEOs, as founders, as, whatever it is that we do. And prospecting is the activity or is the strategy, it's the thinking, it's the practice behind thinking about who might be interested in your product or your service, or thinking about who might be instrumental or who might be useful to you in trying to achieve whatever agenda that you're trying to do. So, at the time of making this recording, politicians are getting ready for elections the following year, February. So even though it's not business, there's lots of prospecting that is going on right now in that field. People are politicking, going for meetings, building coalitions, jumping from one party to another. All are prospecting. It's a term that is borrowed from the extractive industry. Oil and gas, solid minerals. When you dig the ground and you're looking for gold, now prospecting be that. You they dig. Where's the gold? That's prospecting. When you take your drill into the field or onto the high seas, you begin to drill. Where's this oil? Where's this oil? Where's this oil? Now prospecting be that. So, in business and in sales, we have borrowed that term from the extractive industry, and the process is the same. When we go out and we are thinking, we are strategizing, you put your antenna up, you begin to calculate where, who might be interested. Who, why, what, where, as in, that kind of movement. That is prospecting. And it's necessary for business. So politicians know this. They don't go to sleep. When the time is right, they prospect. You should be doing the same thing as well. The politician wants to make money. You should want to make money as well. The politician is going to make bastard money. You have to make legitimate money. In fact, you even have to work harder than the politician. So, prospecting, we should all be doing it. We wake up every day, wake up every week. We ask ourselves, who might be interested in my product or my service? Where can I find them? How do I initiate the conversation with them? If you don't have a product or service, that's not a problem. You have some agenda you're trying to push. Okay, no problem. Who are the stakeholders I need to meet with? Who are the people I need to partner with? Who are the people that I need to network with? Who do I need to talk to? Where do I need to go to make things happen? Begin to think, they strategize. All that is prospecting. But it doesn't stop at the thinking and the strategy stage. The thing that you do after that to get the ball moving, to get the sale going, to get your agenda moving, that is prospecting as well. Now, the reason why we're discussing this today is because I had a really interesting interaction today with a much more older gentleman. So let's just call him the old man. And the old man just reinforced something that I've been saying a lot on the podcast. And I thought, let me come and share that wisdom with you guys today. Now, when we talk about prospecting nowadays, young boys and modern girls, what we like to do is email, WhatsApp, SMS. You want to stay in your office. You want to stay in your house. You want to stay in the co-working space, and you want to start blasting email after email after email, WhatsApp after WhatsApp, SMS after SMS. That's what you want to do. Zoom meeting after Zoom meeting. Now, is it bad? No, it's not bad though. If you've been sending email, you're actually better than the person who is doing nothing. If you've been sending WhatsApp, you're better than the person who is doing nothing. If you've been doing SMS, you are better than the person who is doing nothing. So those of you who are sending email, sending WhatsApp, sending text message, you try. Well done. However, there's a communications hierarchy. Not all forms of communication are created equal. Some are more effective than others. Some are better than others. Face to face is the most effective. You really want to communicate something, you really want to pass across something, you really want to be able to, see that the person is feeling you, or you want the person to see that, you're feeling them face to face. You will hear the words, you will pick up on nuance, you will get the context, you will pick up on body language, you pick up on all the small, small subtleties. Face to face, the best. Unfortunately, face to face, most time consuming, also most expensive. Because for face to face, you will drive somewhere, you will get TP, you will enter bolts, that kind of thing. So, this time in traffic, you Lagos people will say, Abuja boy, shut up, what do you mean? Yes, in Abuja, traffic is 1 hour, but still, it's traffic by our own standards. So, stuck in traffic going there, stuck in traffic coming back. Maybe while you're there, you spend 2 hours with the person. So, by Abuja standards, 4 hours, just gone. But don't think of it as just gone. Think of it as an investment. And that is the reason why I advise my clients, for the deals that are worth it, invest that time and expense. I remember back when I was a little boy, much younger, and somebody just called Momsy, because back then Momsy was a marketing executive and a public relations consultant. So somebody just buzzed Momsy. I was like, Tavi, I'm coming. So she went upstairs, go and take the call. And then she came down and she said, I'm going to Abuja. Back then we lived in Lagos. I said, Abuja, waiting up now. And she said, Mr. So and so called, blah, 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 presidency, this, that. And I was like, oh, what if you don't meet the president? She said, it's worth it. These things happen. And so like that. That's how Momsy, that's how she just took off. Abuja. Well, of course, her and the other people, they didn't get to see the president back then. Obasanjo was president. But please, this is not Momsy's connect. As in, another person is one that had the connect. And since Momsy is the professional, the guy was just bringing Momsy into the picture. So that was the scope. So don't feel as if, me and my family were connected. We are not connected. We don't know nobody. We're a very simple family. If you check my surname and you Google it, you will not see anything. All you see is my podcast. Because I'm from a very simple family. Humble beginning. So, she went to Abuja. The president no show. She came back. Me, I was thinking now, okay, so this trip you don't do now. So, like, what good came of it? And she told me, now, look, Tari, it's one of those things. I went today, the thing didn't click. If he calls tomorrow, I will still show. Because you never know. Now, eventually, they did get to see the president. The proposal was not accepted, but it's just one of those things. Face to face is the most effective form of communication. And so the person who was trying to hook up this thing and trying to bring Momsy into the picture, he required everybody to be here face to face. But we'll try run this thing. This is not a matter of you stay in Lagos and then you be doing phone call or you be sending proposal. You come and be on ground face to face. So that one didn't click. But if it clicked, it would have been worth it. And if it was worth it, who knows? Maybe I wouldn't be making this podcast. Would have been living our life in Paris or something. Anyway, this is a communications hierarchy. Face to face is at the top. Next is voice. Voice as per phone call, Zoom audio call, WhatsApp audio call, Skype audio call, whatever. For the very same reasons. Tone, nuance. You can kind of hear people's emotions over the phone. Now, text-based forms of communications are the worst. Okay, not the worst, the least effective. And the reason why they're least effective is because you can't pick up on external cues. There have been times when my wife will send me a message. And in my mind, I'm thinking, what the hell is this? Like, where is this venom coming from? Then when she closed from work, I'm like, babe, that message you didn't send, that you sent, I don't appreciate that kind of thing. By the time she explains, I will now see that it's me that read it one kind. She actually meant something else. I saw the message. Of course, you can't read emotion. So I took it one way. By the time she explained, it was like, oh, everything is pure. Then she will now begin to vex on me that Yusuf, how could you have assumed that I was saying this kind of thing? Because I'm a winshabi, that I'll just wake up and be sending this kind of message to my husband. So, text. Least effective. You can't pick up on context. You can't pick up on nuance. However, if you must use text, WhatsApp and SMS are more effective than email. Because email is official, it's very formal, and email is not conversational. At least WhatsApp is conversational. You send a WhatsApp message, it's kind of understood that I'm expecting a WhatsApp message in return. You can send a GIF, you can send emoji, conversational. But there's a communications hierarchy. Face to face is at the top, and then text is at the bottom. Email is at the absolute bottom. Also, email has the worst open rates. I know you've heard me say it before, and I will not stop saying it. And the problem I have when I'm dealing with those of you who are in the tech space, because you guys just love your email. Like one of my clients ran an advertising campaign. I've been telling them, okay, cool, we're running the campaigns. Let's be getting phone number. Let's be getting phone number. Let's be getting phone number. They say, sure, no problem. Lo and behold, leads have started coming in. What am I seeing? Email. I said, okay, wahala. You ran advertising campaign, no problem. You want to close sale, no problem. The information that you got was email address, okay. Email that people do not open, and that lots of people will be giving you the fake email address. So okay, no problem. We go run them now. Let's see as we go do them. So that was like my conversation with the old man. So this old man now, and these older people, they appreciate the older ways of doing things. This guy is an elderly gentleman because I remember when we're having one conversation like last month, and I told the guy that, oh, when I was younger, the guy looked at me and said, what do you mean when you were younger? I said, chief, I'm almost 50. He said, 50 how? He said, that reach 50 first. And even when you reach 50, you have to get to 60. When you get to 60, you can start complaining. I started laughing. I said, okay, chief, no problem. Yes, I'm a young man. When I was a younger man, he said, now that's how you talk. So he's a much older gentleman. Now, chief runs an NGO in Abuja. And because of my work that carries me into some media spaces, he wanted us to discuss some collaborations to see how his NGO can get some airtime on some radio stations. I went straight into the money. I always tell you guys, bring up money early and bring it up often so that you know who it is that you're dealing with. Some of you will just assume that, oh, okay, this guy is chief. Everybody, they hail him chief. You just assume that, okay, you can get money. So I had the conversation quickly. Okay, chief, you know what? Based on all these things that we've discussed, if I was to help you out with a proposal, we'll be looking at anything between this and this. But then again, chief, I'm not promising you that if I help you on the proposal that you're going to get a space on this station or on this station. Chief, I hope you understand that I'm not making any promises. He said, I understand. Then next thing, feedback. So chief, this money where I call, we're cool, Abby. And then chief said, well, it's not as if the money is not okay. It's just that, when you didn't plan on something before. And I said, oh, I understand, chief. So you didn't budget for this thing. He said, yes. And he said, apart from that, say, the NGO will be. And in this NGO space, for so and so donors, even if they're going to give us anything for radio appearance, it is between 700k and 900k for about 13 episodes. You see, this is the benefit of bringing up money early and bringing it up often. Quick, you will know who you're talking to. quick, you will know where that person, you will know your level. Whether, okay, let me continue to chase this person or let me back off. Now, of course, in this case, 700k to 900k, the money don't make sense at all. If the radio station is going to collect, because of course the radio station won't collect 700 to 900k. The money for the radio station alone is already above 1M. So if radio station is taking 1M, my own cut was my own share. So I level with Chief. I said, look, Chief, you know what? This your 700 to 900. Even if your donors, even if them double them, they give you 1.8. You still won't cut it. So I told Chief, okay, you know what, Chief, this is what you do. I know this other radio station, they don't have any program that deals in this NGO sort of thing. So how about you write a proposal to them? You try and get on the air over there. Most likely you will get on the air over there for free. And then Chief started talking about how, okay, no problem. If he gets on the air for free, is there any way they can recoup their expenses? So we started having that conversation. And by the way, when I say over here on the podcast that whenever like there's no room, there's no progress for you, still, you just help the person, just sort the person out, refer the person someplace else, be a valuable resource, so that in the future, people will remember that, oh, that guy is a correct boy, or she's a correct babe. So Chief was very appreciative. And he said, now that he knows how much, if they're able to raise the funds in the future, any consulting, he will give me a call. Anyway, so that's what I told Chief. So Chief now said, okay, no problem. But na NGO I be. So all this proposal, all this book, I don't know all this book at all. So how will you help me? I said, okay, no problem. The proposal that they gave me before, I will give it to you. You can use the proposal and just guide yourself accordingly to apply to the radio station. He said, no problem. Then I sent it. And then Chief said, Kai, all this paper, I beg, I don't understand. I said, Chief, you don't understand how? Chief said, you know what? In this NGO space, for we old people, what we do is we call them courtesy visit. That's so we do them. I said, courtesy visit. He said, yes. He said, this is what you just do for me. Get me the address of the radio station and who I'm supposed to address a letter to. I will write the radio station and ask for an appointment. We'll just say we can't do courtesy visit to the director of the radio station. I said, Chief, nice one. He said, yes, that's what they do them. So it's not as if the proposal I said Chief should send. It's not as if he won't send the proposal. No. He will send it. He will write it. But what he's doing is, remember, communications hierarchy. Face to face. He does not want to send a proposal first. He wants to go and see the director or, the whatever of the radio station first. He says courtesy visit. But a chance to sit down and look at somebody eyeball to eyeball and have a soft conversation first. Then all the paperwork will follow. So, for those of you much more modern people who always think email, WhatsApp, SMS, proposal, PowerPoint, but I'm not saying these things are not important. I'm just saying wake up. Face-to-face and voice is much more effective. Even our mummies and daddies, even Chief knows. Chief said this paperwork, I beg. Chief said courtesy visit. Now so we do am. That's what he said. I'm quoting him. Courtesy visit. Now so we do am. That's it. Start thinking the same way. If prospecting sounds too heavy for you, just tell the person that you're going to go and see that, no, now just courtesy visit. That's all. You should be using courtesy visit and go and visit people and start the conversation. We can't avoid the paperwork. We have to send the proposal. We have to send the, whatever. You send that one later. but face to face first. So just like Chief, courtesy visit. So that's just what I wanted to talk about today. It's already 20 minutes, so let me just bring it to a close. But summary, we all should be doing prospecting. Politicians, they're doing their thing. We self, we should be doing our own thing. And you can see that Chief is in the NGO space, so he's not selling anything, but still not prospecting. I have an agenda that I want to move. How will I move this agenda? And so Chief grabbed me. Who else do I have to see? He has gotten some advice, and now he knows the next person. Now prospecting be that. This is my agenda. How will I move it? Who do I need to talk to? Where do I need to be? Who do I need to see? Who do I need to call? That is prospecting. We should all be doing that. And as we do that, please, let's remember there's a communications hierarchy. If it is worth it, face to face, the reason why the old man, Chief, is going to go and see director because it is worth it. Because Chief's budget for media is 700 to 900k. So if he can get on one radio station for free, he's going to save a bunch of bucks. If his donors give him 700 to 900k for 13 episodes and he's able to get on one radio station for free, that 900k can go towards administrative expenses and other things. So for Chief, it is worth it. I know the office. Now, of course, Chief is kind of old school. So I know the office. In the old school days, we'll send the letter first. The person will read the letter and say, okay, no problem. The secretary, tell them they can come for appointment at so date. And then he'll show up for the appointment. For Chief, it's worth it. You should be asking yourself the question too. At what stage is it worth it? At what naira amount? At what dollar amount is it worth it? For which kind of prospects is it worth it? And invest the time if you can. If you feel slimy or if you feel lazy, no problem. Don't call it prospecting. Just call it courtesy visit. And just like politicians are doing courtesy visit up and down, up and down, up and down, yourself, they do courtesy visit. And from that courtesy, let's move ourselves into the promised land. We will not join them and be embezzling public funds, but still, we guys arrange ourselves. Alright, so let me bring it to a close here. So if you'd love to connect with me, just like Chief did, you can call me, send me a text message or a WhatsApp message on 080-6466-2140. Thank you very much for your time and your attention. I'll catch you at the next episode.